Do you think that he took away the ozone layer for Japan so that they just continually get sunburnt now?
Dude, he was taken away from the whole world. Did you see what he was doing?
This is what made the hole in the ozone layer above New Zealand.
I get sunburned every time I step outside now because of Gamera.
Because of Gamera.
It's because of him.
Yo, you legion of listeners out there.
Yo.
Every single one of you, the conglomerate of listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Podzilla. This is the show where me, Micah Drake, and my brother, gracious co-host,
You
Jasha
always,
Drake.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Jasha. You always call me gracious.
You're so gracious.
What does
man.
this mean? You always introduce me as the gracious brother.
That's how everybody talks about
Do I
you.
come across as being gracious?
That's what the conglomerate, the legion of listeners, calls you.
Next time
Have you never heard them call you this?
Next time I'm at like a work do or a work thing and they get you to write down 3 traits about yourself, I'm just going to write gracious.
Gracious Jash.
Yeah.
This is Podzilla. This is the show where we watch through all manner of kaiju movies. We're currently watching through Gamera.
Gamera, the Heisei era of Gamera.
Ooh.
We're right smack bang in the middle of the famed Heisei trilogy of Gamera. Gamera 2 Attack on Legion is what we're talking about today from 1996. Directed by our good friend, Shusuke Kaneko.
I know that name.
He did GMK. He did
Yeah, that's the one.
Guardian of the Universe. And he does the other 2 of this trilogy. So we're going to be talking about him for the next couple weeks. But Micah, I just want to take a pause. Before we get to the action movie, man, I just had one of the best afternoons of my life yesterday afternoon when we got together, watched this, played some Monster Hunter Now, watched, Attack of Legion together, hung out, caught up.
Yeah. Like cool kids, we hung.
Yeah, we hung.
We shot the breeze.
We shoot in the breeze every day. But the best part of it all was not the movie. It was not the Monster Hunter. It was not the company. It was the packet of Flamin Hot Cheetos that we shared and devoured.
That was the best part.
It's like, you know,
Your rating for this movie is going to be low. If the Cheetos were the best part.
Legion reminds me of a verse from Mark, right? From the Bible.
Yeah.
Dude, we were like sharing a meal with these Flaming Hot Cheetos.
We were having communion.
communion in front of Gamera 2.
And so Jason brought the 5 hot Cheetos and the 2 chocolate fish.
Yeah, we were breaking one Flaming Hot Cheeto into many. But dude, Flaming Hot Cheetos, I cannot get enough of these things.
I'd say about half the time we watch movies, you bring a bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Yeah, man. It's the only thing you bring.
Most people hate it, so you get most of the bag for yourself.
That's dude. When we play D&D and I'm rocking up, I bring my Flaming Hot Cheetos. I'm like, I just know I'm going to have this whole bag to myself.
I think you're onto it by using chopsticks. Chopsticks is like the peak method for having chips, especially hot Cheetos.
I think our good friend Ismail, I think he shared a photo once in a Discord channel of him eating Flaming Hot Cheetos with chopsticks and with like hot sauce over the Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Well, this is the other thing you do is that you don't have it by itself. I don't know whether you hate them and they're not good enough.
No, they're good, man.
They're not good enough without hot sauce added.
You got to add a little bit of flavor. You got to add a little bit of sriracha. You got to yeah, man. It's life-changing. You have a bowl of Flaming Hot Cheetos, a bottle of sriracha at the ready, some chopsticks, a good movie in front of you, good company.
I've tried this once with the hot sauce, and I feel like if I did it for every movie, I wouldn't be able to see most of the movie through my tears.
Yeah, well, that's what I want to
I don't know how you don't cry when having this.
I'm having such a good time. Best afternoon of my life, like I said. And I look over to you. You always engage in the communion with me, the Flaming Hot Cheetos. But you always, I look at you, you're eating them. You're getting through it.
I enjoy them, yeah.
Tears welling in your eyes the whole time.
You used to cry when having hot stuff. Did you just get over the hump?
No, I mean, yeah, if you have too much, like if you're like having Kaitaya Fire, the famed super hot sauce famous in New Zealand, or if you're having like chocolate butler sauce or Carolina Reaper, like this crazy stuff, you're going to cry a little bit. Not when you're having sriracha or chips.
I didn't have sriracha. I just had the Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
You just always look like you're in pain.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy them?
I enjoy them. I don't regret eating them afterwards. It's just like pistachios. You have to work a little bit to enjoy it. So I put the mahi in.
Yeah.
I work.
You work.
I bear with it. I bear through the pain.
Half your bowl to the dog, and I don't know if that was a good idea. Surely
Our
Flamin' Hot
dog.
Cheetos are not good for dogs.
Shout out to Toto the Staffy, who we found out he has a new love for Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
I'm glad I left that house. I didn't want to see the aftermath of him eating half a bowl of Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Hey, if you can eat it, so can he.
That's what you were saying to me. You were like, oh, if you're eating this and enjoying it, the dog can eat it and enjoy it. I don't think that's how it works.
That's how it
I
works.
love chocolate.
Yeah.
I love
if you can enjoy it, so
onions.
can he.
Is onions bad for
He
dogs?
will. Are they?
I don't know.
I don't think so. They probably are.
I
have a voice in the back of my head that says they are.
Anyway, great afternoon. Great afternoon, great food, great company.
Thanks,
Great
man.
movie that we're going to talk about soon.
Great movie. Great Gamera.
Great movie. Not to spoil anything, but great movie. Great movie.
Why, Jasha, you're grinning at me so hard right now. You put up your fingers like some crossed fingers. What does
I
that
just
mean?
wanted to gauge if you thought it was a great movie too. But before we talk about the great iconic film that is Gamera 2 Attack of Legion, do we have any news?
Yeah, Jasha, can you give me some space here?
Okay.
I'm going
I'm
to
backing up.
lay the table bare.
We are in space. You're laying the table bare.
That sounds real weird to say.
The virgin table that you're laying bare right now. Yeah.
Jasha, clear some space on the table. I'm going to put some photographs up here.
Oh my gosh.
No crazy movie news this week, but there's a lot of little tidbits, Jasha.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new Bandai Godzilla store exclusive
Is that what I'm looking at right now?
movie monster series Zilla 2004.
Zilla finally gets his time to shine. Did you see?
It's from Final Wars.
Yeah.
Toho's acknowledging Zilla.
Did you see the Godzilla like YouTube live stream where they first unveiled this and announced this Zilla action figure?
Yeah.
And they like dropped it off its pedestal.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
They knocked it off straight away, accidentally. But it was like, man, they're unveiling him and he's on the
They
floor.
don't even care. There's been a few new Godzilla comic books coming out. Two I wanted to highlight is there's one from Kimon Games, Godzilla vs. Cthulhu.
Yeah.
This is a set shown at SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con. It comes with a little statue, but I don't think we've seen a Godzilla vs. Cthulhu comic before.
I'm a big Lovecraft guy. Big Arkham horror freak. So I'm very excited for this. I saw the images that it was like limited edition, but was that just the like limited edition cover? And this comic will be available wider?
I'm not too sure. I think that's the
Surely.
case.
Yeah.
It's called Cthulhu Death May Die,
That's cool.
which sounds awesome. I think it's in a line of Cthulhu fighting against other kaiju, other monsters, which is fun. But there is also an IDW publishing Godzilla comic book, Monster Piece Theater, featuring the Time Machinist. But this is Godzilla fighting off a lot of characters in the public domain.
It was him versus the Great Gatsby, is what I saw, right?
Yeah. So there's the Time Machinist from the Time Machine.
From the Time Machine, yeah.
There's the Great Gatsby,
That's crazy.
which is wild as is.
That's crazy.
But then it's also him fighting against Sherlock
Love it.
and another character who it doesn't explicitly state it, but I think Dracula is there as well.
Yeah, that's Dracula. That's awesome. The cover is like obvious homage to the first Fantastic Four cover, right? With Mole Man and his monster coming out of the ground.
Yeah. Looks so
Which is
similar
pretty
to
cool.
it. And the last piece of news I have here is that there is a Japanese fashion designer online, Matsui Ryosuke, who sells clothing.
Okay.
Lot of followers on Twitter, big name, and up for grabs on their store, just in case any of you have like thousands of dollars that you want to spend. They've put up a pre-sale for the Golden Claw Godzilla shoes. These are the ones, and they've got Takashi Yamazaki modeling it, but these are the ones they had at the Oscars when the Godzilla team went there.
They all wore their Godzilla heels.
Yep. Nice looking shoes with Godzilla claws gripping the heels. Hey, if any of you want to buy that.
One of your heels gripped by Godzilla. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this
exactly that.
Is megaNEWSlon just turning into Micah talking about the latest Godzilla merch?
Hey, this
is
is
merch corner?
primo stuff that everybody wants to hear.
Dude, Rucking Fotten. You ever heard of them?
I have.
Stylized clothing brand that do limited edition like official licensed drops. You got to be a member. You got to have their app. You got to sign up for notifications. They're only available for a couple days. They had a little stealth Godzilla -1 release only a few days ago, and I caved. I spent a couple $100 on a Godzilla -1 hoodie that'll be here in a few months.
Oh, man.
So stay tuned.
Welcome to the life of a New Zealander.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
It's like it added like $80 shipping because I'm a New Zealander as well. So
that's rough.
it was probably a mistake, but it's a sick looking hoodie.
That's all right. Hey, we can't have Godzilla movie news every week, so we got to make do.
Yeah. Is that it? megaNEWSlon.
That's it. Also, just shout out to Takashi Yamazaki, who is a genuinely good clothes modeler.
It's so funny they had the director of -1 in just to show off there.
He's working those clothes.
That's sick. Look at him.
That's megaNEWSlon.
Okay. Let's clear this. Let's get these things off the table. Let's get these photos off. Before we get into the discussion, I just want to say a big thank you. I mean, we don't say thank you enough to all our patrons, all our supporters over on patreon.com/Podzilla. We've been sick for a little while. There's been a bit of time between like exclusive episodes for you guys, but we always really, really appreciate the support. You guys, just supporting the show every single month. We hope you're enjoying the early, extended, uncut episodes. We do them for every episode we do on the main feed. But we do actually have an exclusive episode coming out for you guys this weekend. Just speaking about comics, it reminded me. We're covering Godzilla, the Half-Century War.
This is one of the big ones in the comic sphere.
This was heavily requested for us to cover from our patrons. So this weekend over on our Patreon, we're going to be releasing a little exclusive episode on that. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I mean, without further ado, Micah, do you want to bring us into Gamera 2, Attack of Legion?
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
Shortly after a meteorite impact over Hokkaido, strange occurrences start to pop up all over Japan, with fiber optic cable networks across the ocean and random breweries completely decimated in seemingly aimless attacks. The Japan Self-Defense Forces take notice of a huge swarm of insectoid creatures that have taken over a local subway, and over a short period of time, the creatures begin infesting a nearby tower complex, turning it into a nest topped with a giant flower bulb. Scientist and engineer Honami and Obitsu theorize that this species of creature reproduces by creating a pod, and then by using excess oxygen created when they break down silicon components for survival, blasts the pod into space to find purchase on another planet to start the chain of reproduction once more. Before this can happen though, Gamera, the guardian of the universe, makes his way to Hokkaido and manages to nullify the blast, ending with a violent engagement between Gamera and the legion of insectoids that leaves the giant turtle severely wounded and in a comatose, potentially dead state. With the suspicion that the creatures can sense electronic signals, all communications between the sectors of Japan are severed, and matters are made worse as the legion of creatures start to form together to create a mother legion the size of Gamera. With technology and comms brought to a screeching halt, how will the humans be able to communicate with Gamera when they can hardly communicate amongst themselves? Question for the ages right there.
That was good. That was good, man. That was hype. May I say?
Hype. Cheers. I'm embarrassed by my recap 2 episodes ago.
What was that? Was that a Wikizilla recap 2 episodes ago?
No, it was off the top of my head.
That's right. Yeah, that was good. That was very good. Good job. Just right off the bat, Micah, if I may,
Please.
I had no clue Legion was a bug. I'd heard of this Legion guy. He looked like a big skeletal snake or something by the way I'd seen him. Definitely something alien in nature. But Legions are bugs. So they're like alien bugs. Literally swarms of them come in at the start. You got weird little eyeballs, heaps of pincers, heaps of legs. Then they grow into the big mother legion, which flies away at first, then becomes this almost centipede-like thing. Then there's other flying legions. I just didn't know there's a bug.
Yeah, I know that Iris is up next, and I didn't know too much about Iris, but I think I got Iris and Legion confused. But Legion very much feels so like an amalgamation of a few monsters. I want to say like megaNEWSlon is one, because there's so much to do with like swarming insects in that movie.
May I throw the Batra larvae form in there?
Yeah, I can see that
Mother
for
Legion
sure.
is walking around at the end.
But then I feel like it also has little aspects of Destroyer in.
Definitely those little ones at the start on the subway.
Yeah, and how it changes into so many forms. Like there's a flying form, there's a huge final form. And I know those are all Godzilla monsters.
Yeah.
But I feel like Legion is so separate and so different from many of the Gamera monsters that we've seen in the past that it feels like a really unique and it fits the quote-unquote Heisei era very well, I feel. A lot of those monsters that we mentioned there were from the Heisei era of Godzilla.
Yeah.
And I feel the Heisei era just has such a feel to it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I quite like how they chose to, for this one and for Iris next, just do completely new monsters. I thought it was, I loved going into this not knowing anything at all about Legion, kind of working out what Legion was alongside the characters. Really cool design, just like you're saying. It really feels like the Godzilla, Heisei, and Millennium eras. Just because the monsters look really good as well. The practical effects during the Heisei era, during the 90s of like kaiju films, I fall in love with it every single time. The miniature stuff looks so great. The practical suits look amazing. We'll go into it a bit later, but Legion had 2 people in the Legion suit.
Oh, that's crazy.
Which is just crazy to think about. Yeah, Legion going up against Gamera. Gamera looks great.
Yeah.
It's just, the standout for me in this film again is just all the practical stuff, that classic 90s monster movie look.
I feel like there's something to be said as well, because going back to Legion real quick, Legion has such a complicated design, and I feel like the Gamera series so far, you can name or you can describe most of the monsters that Gamera faces with like very few words. Like you have Giron, who's a sword monster.
Yeah,
sword nose.
Virus, a giant pointy squid.
Giant pointy squid. You have Gyaos, like pterodactyl.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know how to begin to describe a Legion in a few words.
Yeah,
I have giant spiky bone.
The legs, the almost rib cage looking thing that's out on either side, the horn that comes together.
Yeah, it's so complicated and real cool. I've heard a lot of people describe it as like the biblically accurate Gamera monster, just by how wild it looks.
Yeah. It's so cool at the start of this movie, just like you were saying, the Destroyer, the feels, the Destroyer vibes. I mean, one of my favorite parts was at the start when we're introduced back to our good old friend Micah Osako from the first film.
Yeah.
I was like, Micah, look on the screen. He's back. And you're like, who? Who is this guy? I've never seen him before in my life.
I'm going to be honest.
Guardian of the Universe 2 weeks ago, and you're like, Osaka? I don't know who this man is.
I really can't remember his role in the first movie.
He was like a detective. He was like alongside the main girl, looking for the Gauss.
Was he investigating the island?
He was on the island.
People?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I remember him.
I thought, okay.
Me and him are homies. Tight.
You got fear in your eyes right now. Okay, I believe
what are you going to say?
All right. I just thought it was fun how they reintroduced him for this little cameo almost. And it's this big joke around he wasn't cut out for being a detective, so he's like a security guard for this beer company now, the Kirin Beer Company.
Yeah.
And he once again comes face to face with monsters when it's the first time we properly see these Legion. One of their eyes, pointy body parts sticking out between the beer. He makes a great face, Osako does. And then, we just see the beer get destroyed.
Yeah, it's real cool at the start of the movie because even though it's a Gamera movie, I feel like Gamera doesn't even come in until the halfway point.
Yeah.
So from the start, it feels just like a classic monster movie, and you get introduced to almost like Aliens style. It's just a swarm of this little monster. These little guys called Soldier Legions.
Soldier Legions. Yeah, that makes sense.
They're not really called that in the movie. The monster goes nameless for a good portion of it. But you have some really cool tense moments there where I don't know, there's a guy trapped in a room with this thing and just blood splattering across the walls.
Yeah. The subway scene in particular is really cool. When you probably get the first like full look at them in the subway. And just the practical claws and legs that are coming out and breaking into the train. I just thought it was so cool. It was so impressive. Again, just bringing back to the way how these monster movie crews were working in the 90s. Everything just looks so impressive and believable. I was freaked out by these things. I thought it was a great sequence.
Yeah. For a genre that thrives on having practical effects for monsters, it's like such a smart thing to do is just have just a swarm of them all going around. And when we're first introduced to them in the subway, these guys are really cool. They have their little vision they switch to, almost like predator vision.
Yeah.
And their whole shtick is that they can only see like electronic transmitters, things with energy flowing through them, so they can really see the phones that they're all wearing. And for a good portion of the movie, that's how they track these humans, as if any of them have electronics, they can see them. It feels to me like the main setup for the movie in this monster is monsters that feed off communications. So what do you do when you can't communicate?
Yeah, it does get cool later on when people are like purposely turning off their radios and transmitters and can't communicate with one another to get away from these monsters. And yeah, just, man, if I can take us back, their legs.
Their legs.
It's my favorite monster movie, like my favorite kaiju practical effect is a big old fake practical leg that you can tell is purposely made like life size to interact with the humans. It takes me back to Kumanga in Son of Godzilla when the huge legs reaching into the cave for them.
Yeah.
And there was some similar, I got similar memories, similar sparks in this one where it was just clawing at the people on the train. Because there was something special about their joints in this, eh? They were explained as like they don't have bones, they use pressurized air to move their bodies.
Don't have bones, so yeah, by changing little pockets in their system from high pressure to low pressure, it kind of simulates muscle movement, which is, just real cool.
Cool idea.
Whenever they stab these monsters in the movie or shoot them, they just get blasted with gas. Oxygen?
Yeah, I think it's
some sort of gas.
I think it's some sort of gas.
Which in itself is just a real fun effect.
No, I do have a problem. You alluded to it before. They don't really have a proper name until some random soldier looks up at the swarm and is like, woof.
This is when Gamera comes in and he's getting attacked by all of them.
He's like, whoa. Holy Bible. Mark. Legion. We are Legion. These things, I'm going to call them Legion. And this dude clearly knows his Bible, right?
Sure.
And he's alluding to the biblical story when Jesus comes across a demon-possessed man.
Yeah, we know this. This is the story with the pigs, everybody.
The story with the pigs.
That's how I know it.
That's right. And he's just got so many demons in him, and they say that they're Legion, right?
Yeah. Well,
now,
no, they say that they're Legion.
Legion. Yeah. Well, like you have the biblical story, right? But then you have this man looking up at bugs swarming Gamera. And I don't think, if I saw things swarming another thing, like if I saw a group of bugs on the ground swarming a leftover chocolate bar, I'm going to be like, whoa. Legion. Demons.
Guys,
Demons. I'm going to call this thing Legion.
It's so funny because at this point in the movie as well, like, these could just be like an alien race. Like, you don't know how many of them there are. He has no clue that they're going to form into one monster.
True. I guess that works for Legion.
It's like if we... the bugs, great analogy.
Yeah.
But it's almost like if, I don't know, grey little spacemen came to Earth in their UFO as well. And there were just a lot of them. Oh, dude. We are Legion.
Whoa. The Book of Mark.
Book of Mark.
Yeah. Because it's funny that like it goes
it's like
from...
any time there's just a lot of monsters. Whoa. Book of Mark.
It goes from him just like quoting the verse to everyone saying Legion. It's just what these monsters
one
are known
dude on the
as.
ground who probably died. And then the higher-ups in the government have branded, the swarm of these monsters as Legion?
The Legion, yeah. I feel like we're so much more stupid as humanity. Like we'll see these bugs, the swarm of bugs come to Earth. We'll just be like, oh man, space bugs, space cicadas, space shrimp, space crabs.
Space crabs.
Yeah. Oh man, this space crabs. Like newspapers would be like crabs from space.
I think we'd go a different route. I think that if any aliens invaded, humanity would not be able to decide on a name for them. With like social media around, you'd probably have like 20 different names for these guys.
People creating different Facebook groups for which name you follow. What name you think is the proper name?
Like, I don't know, Martians, crustaceans. Yo, crustaceans?
Wait, what? I like
stations.
Yeah, it can be Team S stations. I'll go with like.
That's what I'm going with.
I'm going to go with like space cicadas. Spicadas. Spicadas. I like it.
Crustadas. There's, dude, crustacean
crustadas.
and cicada. Astro. There's a good mix of those three somewhere.
No, bro. It's just like the demons and the one guy. Legion. There are some really cool scenes. Again, I loved everything to do with Legion. I just think it's such a cool monster. When Gamera finally comes into it, and he gets covered. He gets covered by the swarm. And first off, it looks like crap. It's fully CGI Gamera. Fully CGI bugs as he's like toppling over. But then they cut to they did it practically somehow.
Yeah, the CGI one only lasted what felt like a few seconds. And then it looked good.
And it's like, what? How did they actually make all these little moving bugs on this dude in a Gamera suit and pull it off so well? It was so cool. Such a cool visual. I don't think we've ever seen it done that well before, because I remember in Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, you do get Godzilla covered with heaps of the megaNEWSlons.
Yeah.
But I feel like half of them are CGI.
I feel like there's another example. Do you remember Rebirth of Mothra 2? Mm-hmm. Mothra gets covered with a bunch of these like little starfish like leeches.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's like barely done in kaiju media. And then like it looks real good here once you get past the CGI stage.
Man.
The sound stage that they recorded on, there's a scene where it's like all filled with fog, and I feel like it's why they didn't do CG for most of it, is you get Gamera with all of these little soldier legions on him moving through the fog while the buildings are on fire.
So cool.
And you're like, whoa, this looks epic.
You're so cool, Gamera. You were so cool, Gamera.
You were so Gamera.
You were so cool, Gamera.
And then Gamera just gets owned by these soldier legions.
There's points in this movie when he's getting his like shell chipped off. He's bloodied and beaten.
Yeah, this scene in particular, he escapes by using his, go into a shell, fly around at Mach 10 speed, and two standers by.
Yeah, standers spies.
Bystanders.
They're standers spies. Yeah.
Two standers
Dude, no,
spies.
Well, they remind me of the Book of Mark. They're Legion.
Where two or more are gathered. Where two or more are gathered. Legion?
Yeah. Checks. Yeah.
And Gamera's just spinning around, and the buildings and the windows just get covered with his blood.
Gamera's blood, because these bugs are just biting into him. Yeah, that was cool.
And I feel like this movie ends up how most Gamera movies end up, with Gamera just basically dying.
Yeah, very, very classic Showa Gamera formula, right? He shows up halfway through the film almost, has one big battle against the monsters,
gets so wounded,
gets destroyed, and he's out until the last final battle at the end. Yeah, monster stuff aside, and there's still so much of it I love to talk about, but I think this film was even weaker than Guardian of the Universe when it came to its characters. Like, I did not care about any of these guys. I think the main character was Colonel Yosuke.
Maybe?
And then there was Midori Hanami. She was a scientist.
These names are meaning next to nothing for me.
There was probably the most standout character, the guy I really loved, Obitsu.
Yeah, Obitsu was great.
He was the man. And dude, I was talking about this Japanese film Cold Fish a few episodes ago.
Were you?
Yeah, and he's Mitsuri Fukakoshi from Cold Fish. I've seen this actor before recently. And he's so good. His purple puffer jacket he has in this film.
Yeah, I want this puffer jacket.
He's like this cool scientist hacker guy looking up things on the Gamera wiki, going to the Gamera forums. his like supervisor comes to look at what he was looking at, he presses a button that somehow crumples up the wiki page and like throws it away.
Off as a joke. It's like, dude, can we please install a key on every computer that just crumples up the page? Move it to the recycling bin or just close the tab, but make it look real. Make it look like an old PowerPoint transition.
How is that like whoever he was hiding the page from? How is that guy just sitting there? He acts like he doesn't know anything went wrong. It's like 5 seconds of a page crumpling up. He doesn't even blink an eye.
Also, another character in this movie, Ayako Fujitani, returning as Asagi Kusanagi. She is like the priestess for Gamera. I feel like she does even less in this movie.
She has a good fit.
She comes from a snow trip.
There's a lot of snow in this movie. It was a cool backdrop. A lot of snow, cold weather, mist.
All the things I look
like a
for
desert
in
at one point.
And
she's wearing like 5
cool.
layers, 6 layers.
Her role in the movie is she as the priestess just freaks out when he dies. Uses her pendant that gets smashed. And because Gamera cannot get back up in a battle without a human intervening, it causes him to get back up. Someone said it in the letterbox, and I cannot remember who you are, but someone said that it really symbolizes like how, as Gamera's last resort, he had to break the connection between himself and humanity.
True. I thought that scene was pretty powerful. That was one of my favorite scenes of the movie, when you have Gamera like charred, frozen in place, and you have all the embers in the air. It's quite a beautiful moment when you've got all the children crowding around, because he's still the friend of the children, apparently, Micah. All the children showing up for Gamera.
That's the only scene with children in the movie.
Yeah, I just felt like the characters were a huge letdown, and they had some fun moments. They tried to make it good. There's a moment when the 2 guys are in Hanami's room. They're talking business.
Yeah.
But she's like, oh, I can't drink. My dad can't see my secret stash of liquor. He's going to tell me off. And then one of the guys is like, well, then this isn't good. You've got 2 strange men in your room.
The guys are like, this is kind of weird. Us 2 guys with a girl having some drinks. Oh.
And then her dad goes to come up the stairs to look into the room, but her mum pulls him away. And I was like, that was pretty good.
Kind of funny. Little nose exhale from Jasha.
But like, majority of these characters' interactions with one another, we get no emotion. We get no almost backstory or reason to root for any of these guys, which I guess is okay. At its core, it's just like you were saying, a movie about people's communications being cut off and humanity rising up, like the greatest minds in Japan rising together to deal with this threat systematically and scientifically. But it just means 90% of the dialogue is just people spouting scientific jargon or like military talk. And I just zoned out.
Yeah, I feel like this movie highlighted it for me, just how hard it is to balance having main human characters who feel like they're actually doing a lot, and the fact that in the end you're watching a monster v monster movie, where in the end you want the monster to defeat the monster and not the humans to defeat the other monster because you want the monster to do it. Like, we're cheering for Gamera. We're not cheering for a human to pull the finisher move here.
Yeah, but it's something I feel like even Godzilla in its Heisei era, Millennium era, did so well. Like, they had a
I feel like it did it better.
Even if it was just one main protagonist that you remember, they had a protagonist, they had an emotional through line, you had a reason to root for them, and they had a satisfying conclusion.
Or at least there were like other components in the battles that you had to worry about that the humans were directly interacting with.
Yeah.
Like, in most of the Heisei movies for Godzilla, you have at least one mech in the fight. Whether that be like the X2 machines or Mechagodzilla, or even just helping like little Godzilla out. Like, there's another element to the fights that the humans can interact with.
Yeah.
Whereas here, like, you do have, I think it's Obitsu, one of his main things in the end is he ends up leading away the soldier legions so that Gamera can fight Mother Legion.
Yeah, but he had a few moments when he was this real funny, like, quirky guy. They just didn't do it enough, because even the Showa era Gamera stuff, like, everyone hates the annoying Gamera kids, but I feel like they were memorable. Like, they did have memorable moments. You had a reason to root for them. They had an emotional finish to the story. Like, this movie ended and these characters having this heartfelt conversation about saving the world and looking after our environment, and I'm just like, who cares? Why are you pivoting to saving the environment right now?
I don't know if it's a hot take because I feel the same. I feel like the Showa era was so much better with its characters.
Me too.
Than this.
I'm finding these movies so hard because the monster stuff is just the top of its game. Really cool. Fight sequences, practical effects, monster designs. But then the actual plot, the actual characters is so lacking to me. So it's almost like I'm just coming out of these movies and I'm almost just in the middle of the road. I'm like, there's cool things, there's things I didn't like.
It's the eternal balance, man. we've seen this the whole podcast is when you balance the two, you get a great movie.
But these are the Gamera Heisei era movies, Mike.
These are the trilogy
best
that's hailed as
movies ever made.
Yeah.
I'm really like, what am I not getting? What am I not connecting to?
Because you mentioned how cool it is, let's talk about Gam and Legion a little bit more. Because Legion comes in with potentially the coolest moveset of any villain monster we've seen for a long while.
Cool. You're so cool, Legion. He's so cool.
He's got his spikes all over him, and his go-to attack is he uses his pincers and charges up a blue elemental ball, which is made using Terminator style mirror transparent sphere effects, blasted into Gamera. Cool stuff. But my favorite,
our favorite,
the red
threads, red strings he sends through Gamera.
When Gamera rips off his horn in the final phase of the battle, Legion's energy is just discharged everywhere. He's got those red bands which are totally untethered and he cannot control them, but then he ends up just using them all to very intentionally pierce through Gamera, and this is where you see bits of his shell getting chipped off. This is when it feels like, I don't know, this was such an epic moment for me, probably the most epic moment out of any Gamera film.
Real stylized as well. It felt almost like an anime with
dude Gamera right before this,
yeah,
you know what felt like an anime.
Bro,
you know what felt like an anime.
Okay, first off, we get a new form of Gamera. I think this is the first time we've seen his flying form when he turns his arms into almost wings.
We've seen it before with his normal
sky
hands, but he's got wings now, apparently. Fins.
And then he hits the ground hard at one point. The first time he does it, he hits the ground and he has the crazy battle on the airstrip initially, which is probably my favorite fight of the movie. But then when he flies through the air in the final battle, he doesn't fall to the ground hard, bro. He has the superhero slide. He gracefully lands on the ground with a thud. And then he just slides for 5 minutes.
Dude, Gamera's doing sick drifts in this movie.
He's sliding for 5 minutes. He's so cool, man.
This moment, I think we watched it together, and I think you can agree with me that this is the most excited I've ever been watching a movie.
Dude, that slide was insane.
This is what I want out of my monster movies. It's just the monsters doing sick tricks.
This is actually, again, very Showa era when Gamera was just doing goofy stuff the whole movie. I love that side of Gamera the most.
I think all of us have, as kids, have, or maybe even as adults, I know I have had Hot Wheels.
You're finally opening up on the show that you've got a huge Hot Wheels collection as an adult.
I don't, but whenever I see one,
addicted,
no matter
guys.
where it is, I do some sick drifts. You do not do this?
Do
you not do this?
You're hitting up stores in town. You're picking up those Hot Wheels.
If I'm at anyone's house, or if I'm on the ward at the hospital and I see a little Hot Wheels, I'm gonna play with it for a bit. Do a sick donut drift. Gamera was living my dreams,
living your fantasies out in front of you, man. Yeah, it was
and
cool.
him just releasing fireballs onto Legion.
What was that final thing he did when he absorbed Earth's ozone layer?
Yeah, I wasn't as much of a fan of.
Iron Man repulsor blast from his chest. Crazy. Gamera is so cool. He's so cool.
Now
he can do anything.
Now the ozone layer protects us.
He's a turtle. He's a freaking turtle who does slides and swings on trapeze poles, plays xylophones, and he's got unlimited crazy abilities.
Do you think that he took away the ozone layer for Japan so that they just continually get sunburnt now?
Dude, he was taken away from the whole world. Did you see what he was doing?
This is what made the hole in the ozone layer above New Zealand.
I get sunburned every time I step outside now because of Gamera.
Because of Gamera.
It's because of him.
Now, Japan getting destroyed.
Oh, the
ozone
town
layer in New Zealand. Hard choice.
There's something I liked in this movie was we actually saw repercussions. It was a whole town of Sendai, I think it was, early in the film that just gets decimated. Like we actually see a town get destroyed. I think people were evacuated from it, but we actually see that the stakes are super high and like the power that Legion can do. These little bullets coming out of the flower seeds.
The flower seeds.
The flower seeds going crazy, blowing up in Gamera's face.
Yeah.
Do you see that one shot when like fire just engulfs the whole screen? It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Legion is fully portrayed as just this real destructive force, and it's real cool to see. I love it when, locations get sacrificed, get just burnt, torn to the ground. It actually shows just how crazy these villains are. Legion does it better than most other villains.
Yeah, you need some stakes. To put on the fire. Should I get into some trivia?
Yeah.
I have been reading a little bit up about this film. First thing I just want to talk about, it wasn't really a trivia thing, but we noticed it on our Blu-ray when we were watching, that there was an exclusive dub on the Blu-ray, a redneck dub, Micah, called Lake Texarkana Gamera. And it was a dub done by the company that were hired to do the official English dub. The story goes that the people working on the English dub just got crazy drunk one day and decided to make a redneck dub. And it's been included on the Blu-ray disc. And we watched like 20 minutes of this. Yeah. It's crazy. It's just jokes.
This is funny. It gets across the point of the movie and like the main facts, but like every line that's just an like a comment here or there or just a funny joke, they just go ham.
I was having such a good time watching. I might need to fire that one up. That might be my go-to version of Attack of Legion from now on.
Can we please do a watch party of this version?
Oh, that's such a good idea. Can we do redneck dubs? Can we do Podzilla?
We do Podzilla
comedy dubs?
Kiwi neck dub?
We joked about it. We had like an April Fool's years ago when we were apparently Toho contacted us to the official Son of Godzilla anniversary redub.
I think we should actually do it.
We should actually do a movie. We should redub a movie.
Yeah.
We should do it. Get the P fans on.
The hardest thing is you need to find a version of the movie
with no dialogue track.
No dialogue.
Yeah. That would be tricky, yeah.
There'd be one movie out there.
There'd be something. There'd be something we can do. But yeah, in terms of actual trivia. Yeah, and in terms of actual trivia, they had to fit 2 actors inside the Legion suit because the special effects director, Shinji Higuchi, wanted it to be designed in a way that they wouldn't need any wires to operate it. Usually with huge, crazy monsters with heaps of legs coming off them and heaps of different elements, they use a lot of wire work.
Even just like pulling the legs from our screen.
Yeah, so he came up with a real ingenious way to get around all that by fitting 2 actors inside the suit. One of them was in control of the monster's proper movements. Then one of them was in control of the various extremities and all the like different bits coming off of it. So I don't know how they did that. It's pretty impressive. There's someone in the suit moving all the little bits.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
There are so many bits. There are so many bits.
Legion, man. Draw Legion from memory. I just could not do it.
Could I?
I just could not.
It wouldn't look like Legion, that's for sure.
It wouldn't. And then, the last bit was that Akira Ohashi, who plays Gamera in this film, and both of those actors that were in the Mother Legion suit, Mizuho Yoshida and Toshinori Sasaki, the 3 of them appear in Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All-Out Attack. The guy who played Gamera in this portrays King Ghidorah in that.
Hey.
One of the Mother Legion suit actors plays Godzilla, and then the other one does stunt work for Baragon.
That's cool.
Pretty cool.
There's a lot of cross-crediting there.
There's a lot of crossing over between Godzilla and Gamera, I must say. I mean, this was a Toho distributor movie once again. That little Toho sign makes me very happy at the start. But yeah, that's all for trivia. Should we go through some final thoughts?
Yeah,
Is it time? Is it the advent of the episode? What is an advent? Is it the start or the end?
I feel like that's an inciting event. Or is it the day before? No, what does advent calendar mean? It's like the heralding of.
Yeah. This is the advent of the final thoughts.
Yeah.
Right now. I'll just go through a few of mine. There are terrible English actors in this. Terrible.
It's good to see the
actors.
tradition being upheld.
The classic kaiju movie tradition. There is one specific guy who's this news reporter, and he's like a dude you'd hire off Fiverr. Just the way he's saying his lines. They're so bad. So bad they were good, almost. I mean, it does make me happy, right? If you have a American actor, well, not even American, an English actor portraying American in a Japanese kaiju film, they kind of have to be bad at this point.
I'm just so curious as to behind the scenes. Do you think there's like a Japanese casting director out there intentionally seeking bad actors?
Yeah.
Or do all these guys happen to like speak Japanese as well, and that's why they bring them on?
Yeah, I really don't know. Maybe just in like the 80s and 90s, or even before then, like there weren't many English actors in Japan that English was their first language. I don't know.
Maybe bad acting was just all the rage.
Maybe it was.
This scares me. This makes me think like if we understood Japanese fluently, do you think the Japanese people are speaking with the same level of just like stupidness? Like, do you think the Japanese are good actors, or are they acting just as bad as well?
Your theory is just the whole cast in kaiju movies are just always terrible.
We will never know.
That's a good theory. It's a good theory. 90s computer labs rule. I loved seeing the 90s computers in this. They were really cool. The Gamera wiki was super funny. I liked the theme song. There was another, like, it's not even a theme song, but the credits song. I think it was called Sky. Another banger of a credits song.
They say movies go hard.
They do go hard. Songs. It was really good. We saw a little clip of the Gauss nest. Do you see that? It was like the
little
broken.
shot, yeah.
I don't know if it was Tokyo Tower, but it was a tower that we saw where that iconic scene of Gauss in the last movie was shot. It was really cool. And yeah, I just think there was some really cool like visuals across the board. Kaneko, he really blows me away every movie he does with his visual style. There's one shot in particular when we first see the huge flower and heaps of roots going through the city. You've got a tower there. You've got a helicopter. And it's just this real breathtaking kind of shot with everything in one frame. I just really liked. He really makes his movies pop visually. But yeah, I'm just like I said before, I'm really struggling with these movies because they have so many elements that I love about kaiju movies. Just the monsters, the action, the way everything looks. I think it's all some of the best we've seen in our whole Podzilla journey. And I see why people herald these as the kaiju films to watch. Because they are so impressive and the scale is so huge. And it's such a unique take on Gamera. Gamera, they're doing this for Gamera movies. They're making them this dark and this gritty and this fresh. But I just do not connect emotionally to these. I don't have any stakes in the characters and really what's happening. I mean, I'm rooting for Gamera because he's the crazy superhero turtle dude who's sliding around the place. But outside of that, I mean, it's just so much jargon I don't care for. The characters are so lackluster. The script doesn't really do much interesting. And I think I am literally sitting at... You know, if I was going to be going down the ice slide that the little kids were sliding down in this film, cool looking ice slide. If I was sliding down it, I'd probably slide down it 3 times out of a possible 5. 3 out of 5 for Gamera 2 Attack of Legion. I think I enjoyed it less than Guardian of the Universe. It's just getting so samey, so formulaic. I love the action sequences, but it's not really that deep. There's not more to it other than that, I felt.
So you're giving it 3.
3 out of 5.
Oh, man. I echo a lot of the same thoughts, I feel. Real quick, I want to shout out to who is like the lead cast of the movie. I think you mentioned him, Toshiyuki Nagashima playing Colonel Yusuke Watarase.
Yeah, Yusuke.
Feels like he doesn't do anything in the movie, but I think he's a real cool character.
Great character actor.
Great character actor. When he heals on
Great
stage.
face.
yeah, whenever he's on screen, he's real cool, but I feel like he just doesn't get to do much. And I feel like that's the same with a lot of these characters. I fully agree that none of them really feel like they're doing that much, at least in this movie. And I feel like even characters who are supposed to have a bit more of a gravitas and a crucial role in the movie, like Asagi Kusanagi, the priestess. I know she's a returning character, kind of like Miki from the Heisei Godzilla movies, but she just doesn't, I don't know. I feel like none of these actors really have a lot of power behind them. There's just something missing with all of these characters, I feel.
I think like these movies are pretty tight. They're all like an hour 30, these Heisei movies. I feel like even if they added 10 minutes and just devoted it to a bit about these characters or a bit more downtime with them.
Yeah. Well, I think another thing as well is that, and I think this is why I'm not going to rate this movie as highly, is that so much of the scenes with the human characters in this movie, they just cut so often between them. You never stay with any group for longer than like a minute, which feels so crazy. It's hard to imagine that you're going to build a relationship as a viewer with these characters if before they finish speaking a few sentences, you're on to the next character. And there's just so many different changes to scenes and locations and people in this movie. You mentioned like how it shows a scene of just a city being fully destroyed, and that's real cool. But then it goes on to like a minute of just shots of like nearby mountainsides and beaches of, I don't know, just wasteland, I guess.
Yeah.
Or deserted. And it's like, yeah, it's cool, but I feel like a lot of this time could be so much better spent. That being said, I feel like so much of the monster work in this movie is so good. Gamera is real cool. His eyes.
Still got some googly eyes that I'm not a fan of.
Hey, I love his eyes here. And Legion might be my favorite Gamera monster so far.
Dude, he's finally bit out Zegra for you.
Yeah. Zegra? Zegra?
Yeah. Your famously favorite Gamera monster, Zegra.
That's the one. Legion's just so cool, man. Legion's one of the monsters from the Gamera series that I'm like, yo, get me an action figure of this. This would look killer on my bookshelf. And I feel like Legion was done justice, but like a lot of Heisei movies, I feel like the human side of things just lets it down. I'm gonna go down this ice slide 3 times.
Oh.
Yeah. Can I go down it at the same time as you?
There was a few ice slides like next to
there
one
were 2 next to each other. Let's both go at the same time.
Same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know what's happening, man, because I'm looking on Letterboxd, I'm reading reviews, I'm just seeing everywhere that even this movie, a lot of people say that this movie is the best of the trilogy. And I'm just like, what am I missing?
Like with the Godzilla Heisei movies, I've had a problem with a lot of them in the past, and I feel like it might just be that I don't love this style of kaiju movie with just quote unquote a lot of things happening and switching between so many different things. Technology and military is still such a huge part, and I feel like with so much tech jargon, that's a problem that you've had more so in this era of movies than any others, because this is where a big boom in technology has happened.
Yeah, but then there's movies like Shin Godzilla, which is a whole lot of military jargon and political talk, and I still connect to the main guy in that, and I still like am along for the ride with these human characters who are risking their lives to come up with these crazy plans to stop Godzilla. And I just don't know. I'm not quite sure why I don't connect the same way I do with something like that with the characters in this.
It's the 90s, man.
Something about the 90s.
It's those 90s.
My birth decade. Something about it, man. Well, let's see if our listeners can shine a light on what we're missing. We've got a few reviews here, starting off with one from JB Mason. JB says, a solid entry into the Gamera franchise, and in my opinion, just as good as the one prior. While part of me really did wish that they had adapted another classic Gamera monster for the Heisei era, I've grown to love Legion as a villain. He's like a biblically accurate kaiju.
Hey, there you go, JB.
There we go, it's JB. He looks like something humans should never really have laid their eyes on. It's like Lovecraftian. But ultimately, that's why I love this one. I'm a huge fan of kaiju villains that have new and different designs, and I think that this is the craziest one I've seen. You're telling me a human designed this thing? And JB gives it 4 horrors beyond my wildest imagination out of 5.
Nice, man.
Nice, JB.
J. I've got Frogut's review here.
Yeah, go for it.
So brutal. Seeing Gamera take hit after hit while trying to save Earth was so noble, and him having to give up his connection to humanity was a great final act power-up that really shows you how desperate things have gotten. Having Asagi back was great, since now she's pretty much just Gamera's shobijin. The train scene where Legion Spawn first appears made me gasp at how brutal it was. 5 out of 5 Legion carcasses.
5 out of 5. A lot of Legion carcasses in this film. A lot of them. We have another letterbox review from one of our good friends, Groocrux Dave. Dave says, just when you thought the last one went and totally redeemed the Gam Gam franchise, this one drops it all into 5th gear. Not sure that they get better than this for the big turret, but I was kind of awed by how good the effects are. The fights, oh, the sweet, sweet, glorious fights. They say these Heisei era Gams are some of the best kaiju films ever produced, and honestly, as the kids say, he's beginning to believe. 4.5 out of 5 from Dave. We got to start calling Gamera Gam Gam. I love it.
What did they call the big turret?
The big turret. We're going to steal your language if that's all right, because that's great.
We also have Ravglav writing in. There's just something about Attack of Legion that seems a little off for me. The characters aren't particularly interesting, and that makes it difficult for me to feel invested considering the slow pace of the film. Personality takes a backseat in this one, and the human role in the story is more as a collective rather than giving any individual a chance to stand out. It'd be clever if it were deliberate, a swarm versus swarm type of movie, if you will, but it feels less purposeful and more like character neglect to me. That being said, I'm happy we get an alien invasion plot for the Heisei trilogy. It's pretty much a staple of kaiju cinema by this point, and I think there are some really interesting ideas here. The real-world parallels to explain how Legion spreads and conquers were a nice touch, and speaking of, Legion truly carries the film. It's a genuinely unique alien life form with an interesting, albeit confusing life cycle, and a wide range of surprising abilities. I'd actually go so far as to say that it's my favorite kaiju from the Gamera series.
Hey.
Wish I could say the same for the movie as a whole, though. Side note, Legion looks like a Celtis from Monster Hunter during the scene where we first catch a glimpse of it in flight. Entirely coincidental, though, as this movie came out long before Celtis was introduced. 3 out of 5. Yo, I agree with the Celtis comparison.
I versed my first Celtis like last week. It's a good fight.
Did you survive?
I survived.
Hey, good job, man. I want to say, real quick, just talking about looks as well, I've heard rumors that the design for Legion looks remarkably similar to an early design for Orga.
Really?
In the Godzilla movie.
Oh,
is that right? I might be one of the Godzilla movies.
We'll fact check you later. We'll get back to that one. We'll put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you though, Rav. Like, I feel like the amount of talking in this one, like they really could have just simplified the bits we needed to know. Like the parts that I really grabbed a hold of was them explaining the pressurized air in their bodies and like the life cycle of the bud getting shot off and everything happening in that space. But I feel like they could have just simplified it a whole lot more. They did so much talking that it got so convoluted. They really should have brought it back to basics. Maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe I'm just stupid.
Maybe the actors are just bad. Maybe we're just dumb. And maybe you listeners are Legion.
Yeah. But there's one thing that we know. Gam Gam, he's so cool.
Yo, did you just say Gam twice?
Gam Gam?
Yo, have you read Mark in the Bible, which says, we are Legion?
Yeah, Gam Gam. Wow. Guys, we have a huge announcement. Huge announcement.
Do we?
GeForce has been in touch with us. They are letting us do one phone call. We're getting one call back to Earth next week. And we're like, hey, we're covering the last Heisei era Gamera film. Me and Micah, we haven't been the biggest Heisei Gamera fans so far, have we, Micah?
Not the greatest.
Not the biggest.
No.
But we know someone who is. We know someone who loves the next film, Gamera 3 Revenge of Iris. We have one phone call. We thought about calling our family. We thought about calling our friends. We thought about calling some lawyers to try and get us down off the space station. But we were like, hey, let's call Big O.
Oh.
Big O.
Am I right in saying Big O from Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah Heisei fame?
We had Big O on our show a while back. Yeah, covering the Heisei era Godzilla movie, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. Big O famously was going on and on about these door rats.
Yeah, he wanted
chucking
to
them
kick
around.
them.
Want to kick and
the
punch
door
and
rat?
throw
Yeah.
these door rats. So I'm a little bit concerned, but he's going to be joining us. We're going to be calling him in next week.
Thankfully, he can't kick anything.
No, we'll
Over
just be
telephone.
voice only. He's not going to be here to kick any of us or throw us across the room. But we're really, really excited to have Big O back on the show. And I've got a little bit of a synopsis for Gamera 3 Revenge of Iris. The synopsis goes, with the Gauss re-emerging, Gamera's ties to humanity have been severed with his bond to Asagi broken. Nagamine and Asagi investigate while an orphaned girl named Ayana discovers a new creature she names Iris. Nagamine and Asagi must reach Ayana before she takes her revenge on Gamera, who she blames for the death of her family.
Oh, dang.
Little girl finding Iris?
Protag v Gamera?
Yeah,
Who is
human
apparently
versus Gam Gam.
A little girl, but there aren't any children's in the trilogy? Little girl, 40 years old.
Yeah. But I'm really excited for that. Guys, if you have any thoughts on Revenge of Iris, even the Heisei trilogy as a whole, send them through to us, podzillapod@gmail.com. And yeah, if you have any questions for Big O, if you got anything you want to ask Big O, he's going to be on the show next week, so send those through as well. Check out our Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah episode we did with him. It's one of our favorites. But other than that, we'll see you guys in the Discord. Discord links in our show notes. We hang out there kind of every day, every week. You can chat about what we're chatting about on the Discord. A lot of good memes going around recently.
People shipping you with Miyarabi.
Micah, it's you and Miyarabi.
Everybody knows you put those pictures up on a computer.
Micah is the biggest Miyarami from Godziban fan. He loves King Caesar's daughter, Miyarabi. So there's a real great artist in our Discord, Fishtail, I think their name is, who did some Miyarabi art specifically for you, Micah.
I saw your name in the comment for that,
I think it was for you.
Hey, if you've got any Miyarabi ex-Jasha fan art that you want to throw up in the Discord,
Ex-Micah, please. I want to see Miyarabi and Micah together, going down an ice slide, playing soccer.